Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. For today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a super cute birthday card using a bunch of goodies from our Sweet Soiree suite in our new occasions catalog. Before we jump into all of the goodies that you're going to need to make this and jump into the project, I just wanted to let you guys know that this video is part of my monthly blog, Hop Stampers by the Dozen. So once you're done watching this video, make sure you click the first link in the description box below, which will be the coordinating blog post for this. That'll take you to, like I said, the coordinating blog post. I just said that. Anyway, it'll take you to the blog post, and then from there you can hop over to everybody else's. I'm sure there's going to be some amazing projects this month. Our theme this month, I actually got to pick the theme. I wasn't very original with it, but the theme is anything from the new occasions or celebration catalog. I really love looking at what other people create with our new products, so I figured I'd go with that theme and just see everything, all of the awesome ideas that everyone comes up with. So make sure you head over and check out everybody else's projects once you're done with this video. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm using, like I said, a bunch of stuff from the Sweet Soiree suite. And I love how this card turned out. It's different color palette from what I normally gravitate towards. It's definitely not the norm for me. I stepped outside of my comfort zone just a little bit, but I love the way it turned out. I love this background, and it's just, oh, I'm in love with this card. So to get started, let's go over everything that we're going to need. For the stamp set, like I said, we're going to be using the Sweet Soiree. This is the Cake Soiree stamp set. There are actually two stamp cases that come in this set. The two stamps that we're going to use today are both in case number 1, so I only have this one here, but there is a second set of stamps that all comes together. And then we also have these sweet cake framelits which coordinate, and we're going to be using those as well. We're going to be using our new shimmery white embossing paste. So this is a little bit different than the white embossing paste that we have right now because it actually has glitter in it. It's so pretty and it's so easy to use, you guys. So we're going to be using that, and along with that we're going to be using one of our new masks. I don't remember the name. Oh, I have my catalog right here. Let me look and see. Oh, they're the Sweet Soiree decorative masks. So this is part of that set, and it just gives this beautiful background. You can see mine's all glittery because I've used it a few times. But it just gives a super pretty background, and I love this. So we're going to be using that. We're also going to use a few of our Stampin' Right markers. So I've been working a lot with the blends, but you know, I love my Stampin' Right markers, so I wanted to pull these bad boys back out. I'm going to be using Marina Mist, Berry Burst, Calypso Coral, and Old Olive, and that's what we're going to use to color in the cake. You could use any color combination you want to. I just picked these colors because I thought they were really pretty together. And then we're also going to be using our basic black ink pad. And then for paper, I have a few different things here. So I have a couple strips of the paper, a couple of the papers from the Sweet Soiree Specialty Designer Series paper stack. So these are just two different patterns here. And I have this one, which is cut at 5 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch. And then this one is cut at 5 1/4 by 1 inch. So just a couple of pieces there. Those could be scraps, they could be anything. I happen to cut those because I wanted to use those pieces, but you could use scraps, you could do anything like that. Then I have some thick Whisper White here. I'm using thick Whisper White because we're going to be putting the embossing paste on it, and I just want the paper to hold up a little bit better. We're making a little banner with this piece, and we're cutting the cake out of this. You don't have to use thick Whisper White, but because I already had it out and I was cutting it, that's what I ended up going with. So I have this little tiny piece here, and this is cut at 3 1/2 inches by 1 inch. And then I have this piece here, which is cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I just have a scrap just big enough to put the cake on it and then cut that out. And then I have a piece of rich raspberry here, which is just our normal size card base, which is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. So let's go ahead and jump into this card. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is create our background with our embossing paste. So this is absolutely, I love this. It's like my favorite. I love this background. I want to use it on every card that I make from now on. It's not going to happen, but I want to do it. So I have our grid paper here. You can buy this in our online. I think it's listed in our annual catalog, and I don't know the number off the top of my head or the page, but you can buy this. I highly recommend getting one of these. You can do so many things on here. Almost every project that I do now, I work on my grid paper and I just rip the sheet off and toss it. Some of them I reuse over and over again, but I still have a ton in here. Like this stuff lasts forever. And it really helps keep your work surface clean. So I would definitely recommend picking that up, especially for using embossing paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of my regular old Scotch tape and I'm going to put it on the back of my piece of Whisper White and set that down, or just smush that down onto my grid paper. I'm just doing that to keep this in place. It's not going to do any harm in the end. I'm just doing that so that this all stays together. So then I'm going to go ahead and line up my mask here, and I want the trickle down effect. So I don't want to put it all the way up at the top because then you don't really get any of that dimension. So I'm going to make sure that it's at the bottom of the mask so that I get that some of the pieces are longer than others. And I'm just going to tape this down and making sure that I'm not taping it where the paper is. It's a little hard to see where the paper is at, I think probably at the angle of the camera, but I can see it looking here, so I can tell where I need to tape that down. And now all I'm going to do is take my embossing paste, and again, this is the shimmery white. This is a little bit different than our regular embossing paste because it does have that shimmer already in it. But it works just the same. I'm using our little palette knives here, and I'm just scraping the paste on here. You don't need much. It doesn't take hardly any at all. If I'm being completely honest, I probably apply way more than I actually need to because that's just how I roll. But all you have to do is just take it and scrape it into the little cracks and crevices of the mask, making sure you cover everything. And you also want to make sure it's nice and even. It's not the end of the world if it's not super even, but I would try and get it as even as you possibly can, just for fun's sake is what I was going to say, but that's not what I mean. So I think that's probably good. I'm just going to scrape off my palette knife. With my palette knife and with my mask, all I do is I take a baby wipe, grabbing one that's behind me, and I wipe off my palette knife. And that's as much cleaning as I do with my palette knife. And then my mask, once I pull that off, I need to find a place on my desk to put it. But I just take a baby wipe and I lay it out on my desk, and then I put my mask on top of it and rub it on the baby wipe, and that's as much cleaning as I do with my mask. You saw when I pulled this out that it had glitter and stuff all over it. It works just as well with all of the glitter on it. You don't have to spend a ton of time cleaning these masks. You're not going to hurt them. These actually have a little bit of a different feel than our other masks that we've previously had do. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but they do feel a little bit different, and these I feel like are a lot stronger than the other ones are. Not that the other ones weren't, but I just feel like those have a better feel to them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, because this piece is still taped onto my grid paper, I don't want to pull it off yet. I want this piece to dry as much as possible. So I'm just going to rip my piece of grid paper off. I'm going to set this off to the side and let that dry while we work on the rest of our card. So now I'm going to bring in my little scrap of Whisper White that I had. I'm going to bring in my stamp set, and I'm going to go ahead and get my basic black. I'll just bring this block because I had it sitting on my desk from, when was that? Wednesday's video. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up and stamp it. Whoops. Trying to get my fingers all in the ink. Then I'm going to stamp this onto this piece of Whisper White. Just like so. While I have my black ink out, I'm going to go ahead and grab my other stamp, and that's the sentiment in this that says, "May your day be as wonderful as you. Happy birthday." And we're going to go ahead and get that. What I do want to do first is create the little flag in this piece. So I'm just going to cut up a little bit. There's really no right or wrong way to do this, or a good length to do it. It's really whatever you want. So all I did was I cut straight up in the middle of the piece, and then I just connect one corner, and then the other corner. And that's how you get your little banner there. fun little trick of the day. I think I've showed y'all that before, but in case you don't know and you've never seen that before, that's how you do that. And the reason I want to create my banner first is because when I stamp my sentiment, I want it to be as close to the little banner as possible. That'll give me some good placement when we go to put our, everything together. So I'm just gonna stamp it right about there. Perfect. And then I'm just gonna set that off to the side. We won't need that for a little bit, so we should be good. Now we're gonna go ahead and take our little cake here, and I'm gonna take my Stampin' Right markers, and I'm just gonna kind of color. I'm not gonna make it super perfect. I'm not gonna worry too much about what I'm doing. I'm just gonna kind of freely color these using the different markers that I have here. The reason I chose these markers, they all coordinate with the Sweet Soiree paper, and I just felt like they were colors that I don't usually use, so I wanted to just see, you know, how it went and step outside my comfort zone a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and color all of the flowers and leaves on this cake, and then we will be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and I colored my little cake. Looks super adorable. So now what I'm gonna do is grab our framelits, and inside there is a little cake, and it'll cut that out just perfectly. So let's grab our big shot. Oh, whoa. Should have pulled that out of the cabinet before I started this video, but I wasn't thinking. So we'll just stick this little guy on here. Line it up. I always use my little piece of washi tape to stick her down. Get my top plate on and crank it through. Oops. Okay. Move that off to the side. And then, okay, just like that. Let's peel this off. Throw that to the side. So we have our little cake, it's all done. So now we just really need to assemble our card. I'm gonna bring back over my little background piece, and I'm just gonna kind of touch it and see if I feel like I can handle it enough to go ahead and assemble my card. I will say that it's not completely dry. If you want, you can hit this with the heat tool. I think it's dry enough for me that I can continue with assembling the card. Okay, so I'm not sure where that last video cut off, but all I'm doing right now is taking my 2 strips of Designer Series paper. I put some glue dots on the back of them, and I'm just sticking them on my piece of Whisper White, somewhere in the middle-ish. What I'm gonna do next is take my little banner here, and I'm also going to put some glue dots on here. And I'm putting the glue dots on the front, and then I'm just gonna take my little cake and put my cake right on top of that. So stinking cute. I'm gonna flip this over, grab some dimensionals, and then just stick this right in the middle with my dimensionals. I'm gonna flip this over, grab some snail, and my card base, I guess. I guess I need that first. I'm gonna fold my card base in half, stick this right on here, and then that's gonna be it for today, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Super, super pretty. I love this whole set, and especially this new embossing paste. So make sure you head over to the coordinating blog post. Like I said, this is part of a blog hop, so make sure you head over there. As always, you can get any of these products 24/7 just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. And I really hope you guys enjoyed today's project, and I'll see you in the next video.